morning. We are going to start our webinar. 5 minutes to go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang umaga po. Selamat pagi. Welcome to the second series of the joint international webinar on academic, economic, and cultural undertaking 2020. This webinar is organized by Central Bicol State University of Agriculture and Education in cooperation with Universitas Muria Kudus, Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, besides our special webinar today, actually, today is also a special moment for us, especially for Kudus people, because today is the anniversary of our city, Kudus Regency. That's why I'm wearing a traditional uniform like this. This is a typical traditional uniform from Kudus Regency. May Kudus people always be granted peace and prosperity by God. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, the second series of webinar is concerned with education. And today, the main topic is related to the important roles of parents to help children go through and make the learning process a success. More specifically, during the pandemic situation of COVID-19, in which they have been missing the face-to-face interaction and their learning activity. Ladies and gentlemen, to address this topic, there will be 3 resource persons who will be sharing their expert opinion. The first is Dr. Ahmad Hilal Masdi, MPD, from Universitas Muria Kudus, Indonesia. And the second is Dr. Anna E. Mirana from Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Philippines. And the third resource person is Dr. Cherry Love B. Montales from Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start this webinar, please allow me to inform you the schedule that we will go through in this event of webinar. The first schedule is presentation of the resource persons. Each speaker will be given 20 minutes to deliver the presentation. And then the second schedule is open forum after the presentation. For the participants who want to give questions or comments, please write your name in the chatting forum of this form. And then the last one is closing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first resource person, Dr. Ahmad Hilal Masdi, MPD. He is a senior professor in teacher training and education faculty of Universitas Muria Kudus, Indonesia. For 20 minutes ahead, he is going to share his expertise on the topic empowering parents' involvement in the learning process of their children's schooling at home. To Dr. Hilal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, the moderator. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all this morning? I hope I find you fine this morning. The Honorable Dr. Anna Mirana and Dr. Sherry Love, all of audience of this webinar, it is a great honor for me to talk with you on our problems dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, which has become more than the most scary ghost in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been acknowledged that this pandemic causes thousands of human life problems, including educational problems. Parents in the world who mostly turn over their children's education to teachers have taken the most responsibility of the children's schooling at home. And this is, of course, creating a new problem for them. That is why it is important for the teachers to empower parents' involvement in the learning process of their children's schooling at home. Ladies and gentlemen, What do students say about the pandemic? It is very sorry to say that some people neglect the existence of the COVID-19 because it has been a long time the pandemic attacked human life and no one knows when it will end. Unfortunately, some students are in the same belief and position as some people are. Some of my students say, is the pandemic real? I am very fine so far. This belief brings them into mental mind in responding the policy of teaching and learning process. Most of them suggest to have offline class like that before having COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, for them, this is then a boring situation, which according to them, creating uncertainty. They said that sometimes they confuse what to do. However, a funny talk also goes among them. They said, I stay at home and I get no money from my parents. Perhaps this is only a usual thing in Indonesia. Parents give money to their children when they go to school for food and drink or for buying fuel for their motorcycle or car. Another funny talk deals with putting on school uniforms. This talk implies the fact that students actually do not enjoy putting on their school uniforms, something which in normal situation may bring them to get some punishment from their teacher when they do not put on a proper uniform in a certain day. Perhaps it is only in Indonesia, I do not know. Additionally, they also, as a matter of fact, enjoy the situation where they do not need to go to school, although they also feel boring. However, what they like is the new situation or new learning circumstances. They like learning activities without white or blackboard, without tables and chairs. Ladies and gentlemen, recognizing their children schooling at home, parents think that beyond the long period pandemic, education system has changed. They think in a very simple way. They notice the fact that their children spend a little time to study at home, comparing with the time allotment their children used to spend at school. Moreover, they also find their children utilize different instrument or media, something that may be rarely used before the pandemic. Some parents find the teacher of their children arrive at their house bringing something to do or having a small discussions with their children, something which is also almost never done before. Ladies and gentlemen, the business of the teacher, as I talk about, make parents think how hard to be a teacher. That is why when their children need help and discuss their learning problem with them, difficulties arise between them because their children show their higher trust to their teacher than to their parents. They say, oh, it is also difficult to understand my children's thought. Because of that, parents think that learning at school is better than learning at home for their children. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I have said that this pandemic causes thousands of human life problem in the world. The most acknowledged problem in the world dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic is that there is big changes in human life. Say, for example, we used to work outside, shop in the market, go to school or university, even go to the other cities and countries without any barriers and protocol. But now there are many limitations. For example, when you want to go to somewhere by train or by plane, we have to compile ourselves with a letter of confirm that we are safe to go. Working or learning at home have also created a new experience, which results in boredom because people feel unusual working and learning in the same place and atmosphere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this boredom finally creates new ways as well as problems of human interaction or communication. It is reported informally that most of mothers become irritable because their children stay and learn at home, and it becomes difficult for mothers to take a role when their children have learning problems. School teachers and lecturers work harder because the approach, method, strategy, and even techniques of teaching and learning must adapt the conditions during the pandemic. Some teachers easily utilize their, for example, Android handphone, while some others do their tasks as what they did before the pandemic, because the students do not have Android handphone, or they live in a non-network districts. So everything has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, above all, the more difficult things is the impact of the outbreak on human mental health. It is reported by Yasmin and friends in their research that Bangladesh children are suffering from depressions, anxiety, and sleeping disorder. The almost similar mental health disruption also appear in Indonesia, as it is reported by Kurniati and friends in their recent research. Ladies and gentlemen, the other real problem deals with the change of learning habit, where the role of technological instruments as well as media are higher than before. However, at the same time, it is realized by both parents and students that the role of teachers cannot be replaced by even the most sophisticated technological instrument. This reality creates shock, cultural shocks, and mental shocks in the new learning habit. And the last but not least, real problem arises from the fact that parents have additional role and tasks, that is becoming teachers, or at least becoming assistants of their children in learning at home. This problem creates not only depressions among parents, because it is in fact not easy to be teachers, but also new failure of parents-children communication, because parents cannot fully understand what to do with the subject matter being learned by their children. So having additional roles for them mean having new problems with their children. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some researchers found almost the same challenges people have to cope with during the pandemic. The first is about the general anxiety about the impact of coronavirus. This is caused by the unpredictable way of the virus movement and the target of the attack. The unpredictable situation forced any government to release a policy of social isolation to stop the spread of the virus, which is popular with the term lockdown. The policy, ladies and gentlemen, has a big impact on physical distancing on almost all people's area and activities, and also in their communication. The impact of social isolation also goes to the readiness and costs of internet connectivity, which create another problem for students and parents. Ladies and gentlemen, concerning with what I have presented, I think that it is necessary for all of us to empower parents in order that they can better their involvement on the learning process of their children schooling at home. This can be done by first building intensive communication between teachers or school and parents. This can be done by having simple and informal talks, hearing parents' problems and difficulties when they accompany and control their children learning at home, informing school problems, informing school programs and share the emergency curriculum during the pandemic, etc. Simple thing, in my opinion, simple things, but they mean big things. They mean big things for parents. During the informal talk, teachers may also remind parents that they are actually the main educator, ensure them that they can do what teachers do at school, something like appreciating their children's work, making their children happy studying at home just by accompanying them, etc. However, some parents may be anxious about the success of their children, concerning with the change of learning or schooling atmosphere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we can do is just discussing with them the concept of success in human life. Maybe it is not easy to do, but by having our building interpersonal, by having or building interpersonal talk, I think nothing is impossible. Teachers or schools can also support parents by permitting them to use school facilities such as laboratories, library, etc. And the very most important thing to do is talking to parents that everything will end. We do not know when this pandemic will end, but we are sure that it will end. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the presentation. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you very much for the inspiring presentation, Dr. Hilal. Now we come to the second presentation that will be delivered by Dr. Ana E. Miranda. She is the Vice President of Academic Affairs of Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Philippines. For 20 minutes ahead, she is going to share her expertise on the topic Touching the Lives, Parents Empowering Children's Scholastic Achievement. To Dr. Ana. Hello, Dr. Ana. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sir Agung.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Cherry. Have you been in connection with our channel?
Yes, Sir Agung, I'll do the next talk.
Okay.
Dr. Meranya cannot, sorry for that, but she cannot make it for this session. I'll do the next
Okay.
session for
Okay.
now.
Right. Welcome, Dr. Cherry, to our forum. It's very great opportunity that we have you in this very nice webinar. And allow me to read the CV of Dr. Cherry Love B. Montelas. She was born in the province of Camarines Sur, Philippines, and currently connected with Central Bicol State University of Agriculture. Dr. Cherry finished Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies at Ateneo de Naga University with honors, Master of Education major in Social Studies at Roosevelt College, and Doctor of Education major in Educational Management at the University of Nueva Saquires. She has a wide range of teaching as she handled elementary, high school, college, and graduate school levels. She was a college research development and extension RDE coordinator, internship coordinator, and program chairperson. Her research interests are on the areas of education, gender, and development and extension services, where she received the Best Poster Award in presenting the poster of the Study on Farm Families program in an international conference. She has considerable involvement in extension activities of the College of Development Education, where she served as program coordinator of Touching the Lives program and currently a leader of 2 extension programs. She personally believes that extending services to the community is not just fulfilling the university mandate, but paying forward all the blessings she received. Well, Dr. Cherry Love B. Montelas is going to share her expert opinion on the topic Strengthen Home and School Partnership through Touching the Lives program. Let's welcome Dr. Cherry Love B. Montelas. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sir Agung, for the warm introduction. Let me share my screen. I hope you can see my presentation, Sir Agung.
Yes, we can see the slide.
Greetings of peace and good health, everyone. Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Salamat pagi, Indonesia. We believe that reaching out to parents for students' learning can bring positive vibes. Touching the Lives program is one of our university's instruments in achieving it. Okay. Let me start my discussion by presenting the theories on parental involvement. These are scaffolding theory by Lev Vygotsky, social learning theory by Albert Bandura, the parent role development theory, and ecological theory. Based from scaffolding and zone of proximal development, as developed by Lev Vygotsky, students can learn better when someone, like their parents or their teachers, help them when they are in their zone of proximal development. This can help the students increase their skills without being frustrated for the things that they are currently having difficulty doing so. However, when they can do it on their own, teachers and parents may lessen or remove the assistance. Just like in the construction site, the scaffoldings are constructed to reach the highest peak, but are removed once the job was done. We believe because overdependence can actually harm learning. So that's about the scaffolding theory. Second is the social learning theory by Albert Bandura. It is believed that for learning to happen, there should have an observation and these four necessary steps: attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. Teachers and parents can play a big role in motivating positive behaviors of students. Encouraging them, like words of rewards, can help boost the feeling of success. For our parents and teachers, the theory reminds us to use positive role models and to encourage our children so they may believe in themselves. Next, the parent role development theory, which is currently known as the parent development theory. It tells us about the role of parents to our children. And lastly, the ecological theory by Bronfenbrenner. It teaches us that children are affected by the relationship between the parents and the teachers. However, the parent as a person and the teacher as a person can bring complexity in their relationship. It will then require a motivation and proper intervention to bridge the differences. Thus, the College of Development Education Laboratory High School, with its pursuit to increase parental partnership, elevate students' scholastic achievement, increase awareness on psychosocial issues, and reduce the percentage of absences and tardiness, therefore improving attendance rate of students, the program was then conceptualized. Also, the program believed that parents' participation is highly valued and widely accepted. However, their participation is sometimes difficult or to promote and to maintain. And second, the program believed that families play an important role in creating a school that meets their child's need. Yet, some teachers may need assistance in effectively working with diverse parents. And lastly, parental involvement is believed to play an important strategy in ensuring quality education. With that, the College of Education in Central Bicol State University created this program, what we call the Touching the Lives program. What is this program? It is actually an extension program of the college conducted at the Laboratory High School since 2012. The program is in partnership with the General Teachers Association, formalized through a memorandum of agreement. Also, the University Extension Services Division and the Office of Gender and Development were likewise partners of the college in the implementation of the program. Financial assistance and monitoring were provided by these offices. The objectives of the program include to strengthen parental school partnership. Second, to recognize the strong connection of parent support to students' achievement. Third, increase awareness to psychosocial problems and issues emerging in society. And lastly, to inform parents of the roles and responsibilities of home and school in the education of students. These are the emerging psychosocial issues identified as priority topics for the seminar. It includes bullying, roles and responsibility as parents, roles of parents in child rearing with gender sensitivity, midlife struggle, parenting, family as domestic church, and sensitivity in social media. We can see here now the strategic implementation of the program. This includes conduct of seminars or trainings, quarterly conference, consultation, parents call-up, dialogue with parents on students' scholastic achievement, and participation in the smooth operation of the school concerning their children. First, on the seminars and trainings. These were conducted mostly at the start of the school year, and topics during these seminars for the parents were based from the identified priority topics. Second, the quarterly conference with parents were scheduled to report the students' achievement. Recognition ceremonies for the parents were also conducted during this time, recognition for the students. And then we have the consultation, parents call up, and dialogue with parents on students' scholastic achievement were done either through school visitation of the parents or through sending text messages online or through phone calls. These communication strategies were not just about the reporting the misbehaviors of students, but also about their achievements and participation in schools activities. Then, during the first quarter conference, the Parents Teachers Association were formalized or organized. They will have or they had their election of officers, and then plans for the class were discussed and agreed by the parents and class advisors. So through this activity, parents were able to participate in the smooth operation of the school concerning the education of their children. This is the first time that our generation experienced pandemic. And education of our students was pursued despite these challenges. The program continues to perform its purposes. Some of these were done before the start of classes. However, there are a series of planned activities to address the challenges of times. First, orientation to parents was conducted, headed by the Laboratory High School, who is also a program coordinator. They discussed the roles of parents in the conduct of flexible learning during the times of pandemic. Through this orientation, assistance were given to parents on how they can help their children in the conduct of the flexible learning. Second, policies of the university and of the Department of Education regarding the curriculum and the conduct of virtual learning and of modular learning was discussed. Also, an online communication between parents and teachers was presented. This can give chance for the parents to reach out to teachers whenever they need clarifications on the conduct of flexible learning, either online or of modular. And likewise, this communication can also give chance for the teachers to follow up students' performance at school. It is widely believed that parents and teachers are the main educators of our children. However, parents are the first teachers before children attend school. Their influence on children's education will remain even when they attend formal schooling. Studies prove that their involvement on children's education, even when they reach high school, has an effect on continued development. An example was a study conducted in 1991 that showed students get better exam results when their parents have high interest in their studies than those parents that show no interest at all. Thus, home and school have crucial roles to play in child's education. However, the impact is greater if home and school work in partnership. That is what Touching the Lives program has achieved in its years of implementation in the junior high school of CBSUA. For now, let me share the result of the strengthened homeschool partnership through Touching the Lives program based from the study conducted to the parents of junior high school of CBSUA. The studied areas were features of the program, extent of awareness of the parents of the purposes of the program, extent of appreciation of the respondents, and relevance of the program to the parents and the students. On the level of awareness of parents on the conduct of activities. So these are the results. First, it was shown that parents involved in the program were highly aware that the program helped in building strong relationship between home and school. Through this partnership, parents were able to address problems concerning their children. These problems are not solely about academics, but also about the well-being of their children. Second, parents were highly aware about the importance of Anti-Bullying, Anti-Photo Video Voyeurism Act of 2009 of the Philippines to the well-being of their children. These topics were aligned to address sensitivity to social media as one of the priority topics of identified for the psychosocial emerging issues in the society. And lastly, they were well informed about the purposes of the program, such as reducing tardiness, absences, and decreasing cutting classes among students, thereby increasing attendance rate of the students. When parents are involved in their children's education, both children and parents are likely to benefit. Let's look now at the effects of the strengthened partnership of home and school to the students. We'll look into the areas of attendance to school, home activities, school activities, and positive attitudes and social competence. On attendance to school, it was found out that students were enthusiastic in coming to school, knowing that their parents are supportive of their schooling. On the other hand, home activities, it was found out that students showed eagerness in doing homework. Parents also observed that their children were able to do it independently. Also, when at home, parents observed that their children were able to express their ideas, opinions, and decisions regarding their studies. This has created a better communication between parents and children regarding school matters, mainly because of the idea that parents cared about their studies. On school activities, it was observed that students have actively participated in classroom discussions and in other activities inside the classroom. This can be associated with the preparations at home that made them ready in their classes. In the end, students have improved performance in school by attaining high grades. And this can be associated with other positive improvements among students due to parental involvement. Therefore, we can say that it is not only elementary students that need parents in their studies, but also high school students need them too. Let me cite one of the examples conducted in United Kingdom, examining the impact of the inputs on scholastic achievement in reading and math among school children ages 16. It was discovered that parental involvement in child schooling has a more powerful influence in their achievement as compared to other indicators such as social class, family size, and level of education of parents. Therefore, for our parents, it is not just what you have achieved that may influence children's success in their studies, but by giving your time, support, and interest in their schooling, it can make a big difference. Lastly, on the impact of strengthened homeschool partnership to students, positive attitudes and social competence of students. First, it was observed that students developed good attitude towards their studies, mainly because they experienced positive results. Greater support not only from their teachers, but from their teachers, as parents, sorry. Second, students were encouraged to develop their talents and skills. And these were observed when we see more students who are willing to join in our various in-campus and off-campus activities because we can see parents supporting them. And lastly, students were observed to have become more responsible individuals, not just on their studies, but also in their personal lives. Moving on, after the series of seminars, workshops, parents-teachers conferences, attendance to school activities as held by Touching the Lives program, parents showed positive outlook and attitude towards their active involvement at school. Let's look at the effect of strengthened partnership to parents on the area of supporting their children. First, parents showed giving greater support to the educational needs of their children. Second, they believe that their children in high school level can do their homework independently. Thus, parents gave lesser inputs in their children's homework, but continued giving encouragement in doing it. Third, parents monitored their children's class standing even without being called up by their teachers. These were made possible through the online open communication between the class advisors or subject teachers and the parents. Several modes of communications were used, such as sending text messages, visiting the school for private conference with the subject teacher or class advisor, or sending or phone calls, or sending online messages through emails or social media. And then fourth, parents were able to build open communication to their children to what is happening in the school. Through this, children can easily ask for parent support in doing their tasks, both in academics and extracurricular activities at school. And lastly, The seminars conducted, the one that we mentioned as one of the implementation of the program, through these seminars, parents were guided in handling their children, not just in doing good at their studies, but also in their interpersonal relationship with their classmates and friends. And to continue, let's look at the effects of having good partnership between home and school through the Touching the Lives program in terms of parents' support to school. First, parents developed stronger trust to the school. This was achieved through open communication and participation in the program's activities. Second, parents supported the projects of the school by rendering services in any way they can. Third, parents actively participated in different school activities and programs, such as during Recognition Day, Family Day, Foundation Day, among others. And lastly, parents responded to the call-ups of the teachers regarding their children, knowing that it is for the good of their children. In conclusion, Touching the Lives program created an opportunity that involved parents in promoting their children's learning. Everything was done for quality education and well-being of the students. Terima kasih, Indonesia. Salamat, Pilipinas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat to Dr. Cherry Love for the great and fruitful presentation about the importance of strengthening home and school partnership through Touching the Lives program. And ladies and gentlemen, the next session is actually presentation from Dr. Anna, but we just got the information that Dr. Anna couldn't make it to be here to be attending this webinar due to the passing away of his beloved brother. So on behalf of all the members of this committee and Universitas Muria Kudus, we would like to express our deep condolences to Dr. Anna. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the next session. It is an open forum. We would like to invite questions or comments from all of the participants, but would you please write down your name, or you can type in the chat forum when you want to give comments or questions. Now let's give time for the participants. Or you may also raise your hands. You can click the symbol of raising hands when you want to give direct questions or comments. You can please mention to whom your question or comments directed to Dr. Hilal or to Dr. Cherilov.
Aku kok suaranya nggak ada.
Yeah. Okay. It seems that there is a participant who wants to give comments or question. Yeah. To Professor Nuraini Susmoro. The floor is yours. Professor
Thank you,
Nuraini.
Pak Agung.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good morning, Mrs. Anna, and also, our great speakers, Miss Cherry, and also Dr. Hilal. I'm a mother of 2 children, and I feel very difficult for me, especially assisting my children during this pandemic. My daughter, she's now the 5th year of elementary school, and she has a lot of tasks every day, and it's very difficult for me to persuade her to do her tasks regularly. So then, what's that? Many times she ignores her duties to do many assignments from her teachers. Can you, Dr. Cherry, and also Dr. Hilal, give me ways how to solve this problem? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for the question to Mrs. Nuraini. So I would like to give the first chance to respond for Dr. Hilal and then continued by Dr. Cherry. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Agung. Professor Nuraningsih. Unfortunately, I do not have children schooling at home. My last daughter now in university, and I have no problem like what you have. But I have some, this is not a suggestion, not also a solution, but only my thought about how to accompany our children at home to study. Number one is that you must be happy first. That yeah, realizing that your children, your daughters, your boys and daughters are at home, to be with you at home. So you must be happy, because a simple research which is done by some researchers, uncover the fact that most of mothers irritable during the pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, because they have to accompany their children's study at home. So number one, you must be happy first. And when you are happy, and your children will be happy, and don't remind them to always doing their tasks, but you may have an informal talk asking them about their learning tasks. So by using a kind of subconscious touch, like our friends has found in her research, subconscious activity is very important to touch, to approach our students or our children in doing something. So it's we have to build a situation where learning tasks is not a burden for our children. And I think by building a new circumstances at home, because I'm sure when our children have to study at home, they get some problems. They have to, they leave their friends. They do not friends at like what they have at school, and the situations at home maybe make them scary also, also scaring, and that's why we have to make our children happy by performing happiness to them. Thank you, Pak Agung.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hilal. Now we go to Dr. Cherry to give the response. The floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, professors, for that question. And I agree with Dr. Hilal's suggestion. Let me also share this, Prof. I guess we can, the problem with these kids maybe could be motivation in doing it, or it could be time management. With regards to motivation, maybe we can help them. Let's motivate them by at least looking at the importance of why we are doing it despite pandemic. And on time management, maybe we can help them by setting deadlines. Parental involvement or communication with teachers can help us on how to look at, maybe for this week we have this deadline, and so we have to set it together with the students so that we do not have to remind them time and again that they have to do this or that. As long as we set the deadline for them, maybe at least they can do it on their own pace, without disregarding, of course, a balanced life. In asking them to do their activities at home, we should also remember as parents for them to have a balanced life, not just to do it or to do things just about their modules or of their studies at home. I remember in one of the study conducted in 2018, they mentioned about the negative effects of parental involvement. And one of that is the relationship of parents and their children can deteriorate because of too much parental involvement. Some of the parents are always insisting that the students to do their homeworks, to do their tasks at home, thereby deteriorating the better relationship between the parents and the student. So too much is bad. So at least let's guide them, but encourage them also to have a balanced life, especially that now that they are also experiencing the hardship of this pandemic. And lastly, encourage them. If Dr. Hilal mentioned about the power of touch, then power of encouragement, words of encouragement can really help our students or our children at home. I hope that would help.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Cherry. We still have about 20 minutes to go in this webinar. We still give a chance for all of the participants to give response to Dr. Hilal or Dr. Cherry. Okay, this is a request from, let's check, from Mrs. Rusiana, yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Rusiana.
Okay, Pak Agung. Can you hear my voice, Pak Agung?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Okay. Well, thank you for the chance. I'm going to ask to both of the presenters, to Dr. Hilal and Dr. Sari Love. Good morning, Dr. Sari. Cherry or Sari?
Cherry.
Cherry, okay, yeah. My question is, I'm wondering about how teachers and parents collaborate in Indonesia and in the Philippines to provide a qualified learning process. Because as we know that not all parents are educated, sometimes, yeah, they get math easily to face their kids. Please do your assignment, do your homework, but then they have no idea what to do. And then, okay, can you please share from Indonesia, Pak Hilal, and then Dr. Cherry, kind of best practices that have been done by the schools that you have known so far during the pandemic? What kind of
It seems that the connection.
that the school and parents can make so that they
Yeah, Luciana, we cannot hear your voice. It seems that your connection is temporarily disconnected.
must be learning.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gents, it seems that there is a problem of connection with Mrs. Rusiana. Now we go to the next participants who want to give comments or response. Oh yeah. Okay. We would like to give the opportunity.
Excuse me, Pak Agung. Should
Yeah.
should I repeat my?
Okay, Mrs. Rusiana, you can give the questions later after the next participants. We think that there is a request from other participants to give comments or questions. We would like to give the chance to, yeah, to can you show the video, Miss? Excuse me, Mrs. Carla Baduya or Mr. Carla Baduya. Okay. Let's move to the other participants. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we go back to Bu Rusiana, Mrs. Rusiana, to give the comments again or questions. Sorry for this.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, Pak Agung, my question is, I'm wondering about how teachers and parents in Indonesia and in the Philippines collaborate. And then the second one is practices that have
Okay.
to make a good collaboration between parents and teachers. Is there any kind of program like that in Indonesia or in the Philippines? Please share the best practices that you have known during this pandemic. Okay, Pak Agung, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rusiana. Dr. Cherry and Dr. Hilal, can you hear the question clearly from Mrs. Rusiana? Okay, now we would like to give the chance to Dr. Hilal first. to give the reply, and then Dr. Cherry.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Agung and Bu Rusiana. I got only the first questions. I can hear only the first question. How to Bu Rusiana wonder about the collaboration between teachers of school and parents uh, to help to facilitate their children learning at home. And I think I have explained in my presentation that teachers of school have to be, active in building communications with parents. Uh, they have to empower parents to accompany to help their children learning at home. The first thing to do is building intensive communication between teachers or schools and parents. What the main problem is actually communication, and when children schooling at home, most of teachers and school late in building communication with them at home. So teachers or school have to build intensive communication with the parents. And this can be done, as I have explained, by having simple talk, simple informal talks, by hearing the problems, asking them to, informing them about the school programs, about the emergency curriculum, asking them to go to school to use school facilities. Of course, we have to also consider the protocol of the pandemic. Not all parents go to school in the same time, so perhaps we can give them schedule how parents can use school library, etc. Thank you, Pak Agung.
Thank you very much, Dr. L. Now we go to Dr. Cherry. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Ma'am Roshana. Actually, here in the Philippines, specifically in Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, we formalized a program to involve parents in our laboratory high school. We call it as the Touching the Lives program. As I have mentioned in the presentation, we started it since 2012. And the one that I presented in the last part of the discussion was the study on the conduct of the program. And we showed there the result of the study showed that the implementation, the purposes of the program were met. Let me have a simple or short introduction of the strategic implementation that we are doing with that Touching the Lives. First we have the assessment needs of the parents as to the psychosocial issues in the society, and the result of this assessment includes the emerging psychosocial, like the role of the parents, that they need topics on bullying, role of parents in child rearing with gender sensitivity, parenting, about family, and so on. With this result, the program conducted seminars and training since 2012 for the parents on regarding these issues. Second, we also have, or the program have, this regular quarterly conference with parents. And this is where the teachers or class advisors give the achievement of the students for that quarter. Also, when the parents come during that conference, we do the recognition for the good students who did well for that quarter. We also have the dialogue with the parents, consultation, parents call up. We do this. Sometimes parents can come privately if they have time. But for those parents who do not have time to come to school, we do communication like sending text messages or phone calls. That is to inform the parents about the students' behaviors at school. This may not only about misbehaviors, but also if they are doing good in participating in the school activities. So that's about the Touching the Lives program. And at present, since it's pandemic, the program is still continue to do its purpose for the students. Just last August, the laboratory high school coordinator, which is also the program coordinator, gave an orientation not only to the students but also to the parents on how this online or flexible, we have two types, online and modular, on how these two mode of learning, or on how parents can help the students or their children in this two mode of learning. So that's it for the Touching the Lives. Ma'am Roshana?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Cherry. And now there is questions from from Professor Suprihadi from Universitas Muria Kudus. The first question is directed to Dr. Hilal. Powerful parents are those who can give support to their children. If parents have to give supports, which one is more urgent, technical or financial support? The ideal one is both. Yeah, okay. Later will be responded by Dr. Hilal. And the second is directed to, to Dr. Cherry. Empowering parents means making them know what to do to help their children. What can we as teachers, lecturers, can do to make parents powerful? Yeah, to Dr. Hilal, we give the floor first.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Agung, as the moderator of this webinar, and Prof. Supriyadi, thank you for the questions. I think I agree with you that the ideal one is parents support both financial and technological aids to the students, financial and technological support to the students, because most of the problems revealed by some researchers dealing with the technological problem of the students learning at home. And of course, the main problem for lacking the technological support is because of the financial support from the parents. So that's why I agree with you that the ideal one is providing, parents should provide financial and technological support to their students, their children learning at home. Thank you, Pak.
Well, Dr. Hilal, the second question is also directed to you. Empowering parents, making them know what to do to help their children. What can we do to make parents powerful?
Okay. Yeah, empowering parents. Teachers empower parents to help them learning at home, means getting them now what to do dealing with learning programs. What I said is we have to inform them the emergency curriculum, and also let them to use school facilities if it is possible, because most of parents do not know what to do when they have to support their children learning at home. What they do not know is not only about how to teach them, how to help them learning at home, but also they do not know what their children learn actually at home. Because before the pandemic, most of parents never, perhaps never care with the curriculum, with the material learned by their children. So in this pandemic era, teachers or schools should communicate with parents to let them know the curriculum, help them to to increase their knowledge about what their children learn at home. Thank you,
Thank you, Dr. Hilal. Dr. Seri, maybe you want to give additional point of view concerning this question?
Hello. Regarding the question of Sir Suprihadi of empowering parents, empowering parents. We teachers or lecturers can really do something in order to empower the parents, in order for them to at least know how to deal with their children during times of pandemic. First thing is communication, orienting them about what we are doing, what we wanted them to do during these times of pandemic. We are doing, so for example, here in the Philippines, we are doing 2 times a flexible learning. Either students can do online or they can do the modular or the printed module. So parents need to know these two modes of learning during this school year. And aside from that, policies about grading system or assessment, policies of the school, or special policies of the Department of Agriculture, of education here in the Philippines must also be clear for the parents for them to properly guide the students or their children in doing their homeschooling or the modular or online learning. So again, letting them know about this kind of modes of learning can really help them, or we can empower them. At least they are not blinded why the students are doing this and that, why the students need an internet, why they are asking the parents to go to the university to get the printed module. At the start of the classes or before the start of the classes, parents should know about these strategies.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Cherry. We still have about 10 minutes to go. We will still give one or two more participants to give comments or questions. And we would like to remind you to fill in the form of evaluation while waiting for the last one or last two commentators in this session of open forum. Okay, while waiting for the comments and questions from the participants, here we would like to remind you all to fill in the evaluation form. Okay. All right, now we go back to the open forum. Now we would like to give opportunity of giving comments or questions to, yeah, let me check in the chat forum. Yeah, maybe from, yeah, Miss Carla Baduya, you can give or share the questions or comments to both of our resource persons. The floor is yours. Hello, Miss Carla. Okay, we give the session, the chance, the opportunity to the other participants. You may also type or write your questions or comments in the chatting forum. okay? Okay, while waiting for the participants to fill in the evaluation form, we still have about 9 minutes to go before the end of this webinar. Okay, from Cbsua, maybe professors or lecturers would like to give additional point of view or maybe comments or questions we would like to give a chance for in this end of the open forum session. Okay, I think no more comments or questions. We would like to give another opportunity to Dr. Hilal and Dr. Cherry to give closing statement. For Dr. Hilal, first, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Bagong. I think everything has happened dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and this is a reality that our students have to study at home. And then these situations force parents to involve their support, their participations to help their children learning at home. So we hope that these situations will not give bad side impact to the family. In order to do that, teachers and schools should build good communications with parents. Thank you, Bagong.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hilal. Now we will go to Dr. Cherry.
Thank you, Doc Agung. We are grateful for this webinar that we can help both our teachers or lecturers and our parents at least recognize the importance that parents and teachers need to work in partnership in order to help our students have this quality education. And in this time of pandemic, we really need their involvement to our student or to their children's studies, schooling, and education. We hope here in CBSUA, the Touching the Lives program will continue doing its activities to help our parents and to continue the partnership of the parents and students. And everything we are doing everything for our students. We hope that our students may still find learning fun even without interaction physically here at school. And again, thank you UMK and thank you CBSUA for this partnership.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cherry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this webinar. To conclude this webinar discussion, it's been theoretically and practically and even scientifically proven that it is very important to strengthen and to empower the relationship between parents and teachers at school to help students learn better at home and at school. Now, before we close this session, we would like to thank you very much to Dr. Hilal and Dr. Cherry and all of the participants for taking part of this academic event. And we do hope that you will still join in the upcoming event of webinar organized by Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Philippines, in cooperation with Universitas Muria Kudus, Indonesia. And before we close this webinar, we would like all of you to activate your camera because we will have a photo session. Okay. Okay, let's take the picture. We count until 3. 1, 2, 3. Once more. Yeah. Okay. The next. 1, 2, 3. Once again. Yeah. Would you please activate your camera? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Go. Next. Yeah. It seems that one more capture. Yeah. Let me count. Activate your camera. 1, 2, 3. Go. Yeah. Well, that's all for today's session. Thank you very much, everyone. See you again in the upcoming academic event of webinar. Still in the forum of cooperation between Central Bicol State University and Agriculture and Universitas Muria Kudus. And the upcoming webinar will be in October. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Cherry, Dr. Hilal.